Welcome to my YouTube channel, C-Pegues. That's C-P-E-G-U-E-S. My name is Corey Pegues. I'm a retired Commander, Deputy Inspector in New York City Police Department. I had 21 years in the New York City Police Department. Recently retired 2 years ago. I have a book coming out this spring called Once a Cop, My Journey from Former Crack Dealer to the Highest Ranks of the NYPD. Yes, I did some bad things when I was a young kid, but I overcame a lot of stuff and rose to the top of the biggest police department in the country. Today I want to talk about Black Lives Matter, the whole Black Lives Matter movement. There's been a lot of talk about this and discussions all around the country, and I figured that I'll come out and speak about it because I can speak from both angles. I'm black, as you can tell, hello, and also I was a police officer. Not only a police officer, but I was an executive in the NYPD. So I was in a policy-making position. So I could speak to both realms. Now, my position on Black Lives Matter movement is it's necessary. It's very necessary. It's absolutely necessary. It's necessary just like the abolishment of slavery movement was necessary. It's necessary just like the civil rights movement was necessary. It's necessary just like the rights for gays and lesbians is necessary, and necessary just like the Equal Rights Amendment for women was necessary. So if you don't have something in place that's going to hold people feet to the fire, get checks and balances, then it's going to continue to be the same way. For decades and decades, police have been going into black communities and treating them a lot different than they have in white communities. Even in white communities where the crime is high, they're treated a lot differently than in black communities. I can attest to that because, again, I was a police officer in New York City Police Department, and I worked in white communities, I worked in Spanish communities, I worked in black communities, I worked in the train, I worked in public housing, I worked the whole gamut, and I know that the policing is done a lot differently in black communities than it is in other communities. Now, let's not confuse the two, the Black Lives Matter movement with black on black crime. Black on black crime, the problem with trying to marry the two up is black on black crime. Daquan is not trained not to kill Ramel. He's not getting training not to kill. Police officers are getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in training to protect and serve, not kill. Okay? They're the trained professionals. So we can't even marry those two up. So I don't want to hear people saying black people need to worry about black on black crime. We know there's black on black crime, but we also know a part of black on black crime is socioeconomic issues, poor housing, schooling, reparations, and it's a whole list of things that go on with black on black crime. It's just not pulling out a gun and killing somebody. But the Black Lives Matter movement is strictly, mainly focused on cops coming into our communities and doing what's right. Now, for the cops out there, if you're a good cop, this doesn't apply to you. But we need to make sure that these black cops that's out here in these police departments around the country are absolutely speaking out on these issues. I think they're scared because if you're in a popularity contest, then you should keep your mouth shut. But if you're about doing what's right for people that look like you, black and brown people, when you see something that's wrong, you need to speak out about it. Now, everybody's not going to be Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Reverend Al Sharpton, but if you just take care of your little area, if somebody do something wrong in front of you, you tell them, hey, listen, we don't operate like that. I'm not going to allow that in front of me. Then that's where we'll get change, all right? With the advance of social media, with all of these cameras, cops are crying, bitching and moaning, oh man, it's an all-out assault on cops. Oh no, it's not an all-out assault on cops. What we're saying is we're catching you on camera now doing all the things you was doing when there wasn't any cameras. So now the public is aware. So you know what this really does? It's actually forcing cops to do the job the right way. And that's what they should have been doing before. So I'm going to be clear on this Black Lives Matter movement. It's necessary. And for the cops out there whose feelings are being hurt because people are actually filming you now, which I believe they should. They should be filming you because we know about the Eric Garner, we know about the Mike Brown, we know about all these incidents where black men are being killed. All right? White unarmed men are not being killed. Even in the New York City Police Department, in the history of the police department, there hasn't been one white off-duty cop that has been killed by an on-duty cop. But we know there's black cops that's been murdered by on-duty cops, white cops. Desmond Robinson, Omar Edwards. We know these incidents have happened because black men are looked at a lot differently than white men. It looks like every time they see a black man running, it's like, hey, there's a man with a gun. So we got to chase him. We got to pull our gun out. And every time you pull your gun out, it doesn't mean that you got to shoot. Sometimes you can just pull it out, give directives and orders, and stop people. You don't always have to pull your gun out, all right? But the purpose of this video is to defend the Black Lives Matter movement. It's something that's there. Cops, pick your pants up like big boys. Stop crying. Black Lives Matter movement is not going anywhere. We're going to make sure that your feet are held to the fire. And if you're a good cop, you should love that people are out there trying to make sure that the job is being done the correct way. Because it's like a bag of apples. If you buy a bag of apples, you got 2 rotten apples in it, are you going to keep that whole bag of apples, or are you just going to get rid of those two rotten apples? And that's what police departments got to do. There's bad cops out there. You got rotten cops out there. Get rid of the rotten cops, and the Black Lives Matter movement will probably go away. The other issue I want to talk about is just strictly directed to the black cops around America that's a part of this blue wall of silence and thinking that everything is on the level. Recently, just this past week and a half, there's 2 black cops in Louisiana that killed a young 6-year-old white kid, murdered him, and shot his father up in their car. They had some type of altercation. These 2 black cops was off duty. They started chasing them in the car. It was a vehicle pursuit. They pulled their weapons out for whatever reason, shot 18 times into the vehicle, struck this 6-year-old kid that was in the front seat 5 times in the head, once in the body. He's dead. His father's in critical condition as we speak. We don't know what happened, but there was no guns found on the scene. It's a murder. They got locked up, $1 million bail. What I want to know from the black cops who drink the police juice, why isn't there a GoFundMe account to bail these 2 black cops out? When Mike Brown get killed in Ferguson, they raised $2 million in 3 days. When the 6 in Baltimore, 3 black, 3 white, they get locked up for killing Freddie Gray, there's GoFundMe accounts. Anytime there's a white police officer accused of killing a black man, there's a GoFundMe account. All of the time. Eric Garner, loudmouth Pat Lynch, the PVA president, defense fund, everybody gets money from them. These 2 black cops are facing a murder, second-degree murder charge now. And I don't see no PVA, no FOP, no union standing up and saying, hey, we need to get some money to defend these cops. And I'm not defending the cops. I don't know exactly what happened, but I do know in all these cases when cops are accused of murdering black men, there's a rush for people to give money to defend the cops. So let me let you black cops think on that. Let that resonate inside of you, and you stop drinking this Kool-Aid or this juice called this blue wall. All right? It doesn't exist. You need to make sure to just go to work, do what you got to do, and if you see it indiscretions, you make sure that you address them. Thanks again for watching. Every Tuesday I'll be dropping a new video. You can follow me on Twitter at CPegues. You can follow me on Facebook at Corey Pegues. You can follow me on Instagram at CPegues9098. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, CPegues. Thanks. Until we meet again, until we speak again, remember, I always keep it right, not real.